Hey, so I'm back. I'm back real quick. I got a lot of great feedback from the other video that I did, so I decided to do a follow-up video and kind of let you know where the questions came from that I created. So I was at a networking event last week, and it was just phenomenal. It was more than just motivational. They did a lot of teaching about marketing and about automating your business. And I was just really grateful that I kind of knew everything already because Ben has already taught us a lot of these techniques. It was just a more in-depth teaching. Anyways, the guys that taught the course, or for 3 days, the guys that spoke, the keynote speakers, one of them mentors under Les Brown. Les Brown is a famous motivational speaker. If you haven't heard of Les Brown, you gotta look him up. So, anyways, just real quick. So this is really what happened. That it was kind of my breakthrough moment, and they picked a person out of the crowd, which it was me, and this was the person that was teaching about sales. And on a giant post-it note in front of everyone, he just put down numbers 1 through 7. And he said, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I just want you to answer them as honestly as possible. So the first question that he asked me is, he says, let me see, I have my notes right here. He says, what's the most important thing to you about growing your business? Basically, why do you want to grow your business? And I just gave him a simple answer: to leverage my time. And so he said, well, why do you want to leverage your time? I said, well, so that I can work from home. So he wrote down my answers: work from home. And, he said, well, why do you want to work from home? And so I said, so I could be available to my family. And he says, well, at this point, he's like looking me directly in my eyes, and he's holding the mic, and he says, well, what is important to you about, being available to your family? Like, why do you want to be available to your family? And so now, at this point, I'm like, okay, well, now he's kind of getting all personal, but, I said, well, I want to, I just want to be there, for my kids and my family. And so that's what he wrote down. He wrote down being there on the paper. And then he says, well, being there means a lot of things to a lot of people, a lot of different things to a lot of different people. He says, what does being there mean to you? And, the moment was kind of surreal, but I just burst in tears. I really did. I mean, because at that point, he was kind of getting to my why in a sentimental way. And so the whole purpose of me wanting to be there is so that I could be there for my kids, in which one of my kids is like walking through the door right now, which is pretty cool. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. This is all I want to do right now, is just be here when they walk through the door. So at this point, I kind of burst in tears. And, I say, I just want to, be there for my family. And he says, being there means a lot of things to a lot of different people. What does that mean to you? And so question 4 is called, he taught the technique after, he did that on me. But question 4 is called the bridge question. And that's where, no matter what the answer is, you say, well, that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What does that mean to you? And so, he's getting to the heart of my why. At that point, I was holding the mic. I just had to explain why I'm, in tears at this moment. And it's because, I explained to the entire crowd, hey, I've been in the military for 17 years. You miss a lot of important moments when you have to work, 40 hours a week, and then you have to go away out of town on military duty I mean, you just really miss a lot of important moments. Look, I'm gonna cry now. No, I'm just kidding. My eye itches. But you miss a lot of important moments in your kids' lives, and that's one of the reasons that I quit the military here recently and decided to just work from home, is because hey, I can make money and stay at home at the same time. But anyway, without getting too deep. So anyway, that was question number 4, and he says, well, and that's what he wrote down. He says quality time with your kids, and so that was question number 5. And just to throw in there, consequently, I like had my son there at the event that day just to kind of give him some exposure and not let him sleep in the whole day. So I said, "You're coming with me," and they told us to bring our kids out and stuff if we could. And so I made him dress up and come with me. So he's there with me while he's asking me all these questions. Anyway, so number 5, he wrote down quality time, and he says, "What does quality time mean to you?" And so I'm still trying to recover, and he gives me some tissue, and I'm wiping my eyes, and I'm like, you just miss a lot of little moments with your kids. And he says, "What do those little moments mean to you?" And I was like, "Those little moments mean everything to me." And then he asks me a key question, which is how much. He said, "Give me a number. How valuable is that to you? Like, how much would you pay to be able to do everything that, which is 1 through 7?" And I was, I'm trying to think of a number, but I'm like, no, those things, those qualities are priceless. And so he wrote down the word priceless. He said, "Thank you very much. Have a seat." And then he explained what those things are. But let me go back. On question number 6, this is the key point of the sales technique. It's called my breakthrough. So on question number 6, he says, "Take me to a time when you," and so, on question number 6, he wrote down the word little moments. And so he said, "Take me to a time when you was able to have one of these little moments with your children, that when it mattered to you the most." And so he's asking me this, and I was like, and I had to really, tell him an answer. So I'm telling him that, well, in the morning time, you only get a small moment in time to lecture your kids, to talk to them. They're at school all day. They have sports. We rip and run. So, it's important for me to be able to just have good talks to my children. Anyways, so he said question 7 is a breakthrough moment, and where he asked, "What is the dollar value of that?" And typically the answer is supposed to be priceless. Typically your answer is priceless. So when he taught it back to us in the crowd, he he literally, so I yelled out, "Oh, so you knew you were gonna make me cry before you did it?" He said, yeah, pretty much. So it was amazing. He made us practice those questions on each other, where we turned to our neighbor and we did the questions 1 through 7. Where we asked those key questions yet again on number 4, number 6, and number 7. And of course, the ultimate answer is supposed to be, priceless. But there are some people who kind of know this technique. These things come from Les Brown, Tony Robbins, all these different things. And people just repeat them and pass them back out to the world, really. So anyways, that's kind of where I began to come up with key questions that would land me interviews with prospects, and valuable interviews where, like I said, they asked me for my business card. And so when I just blurt out, and I've been to other networking events where I just say, "Hey, I'm a bookkeeper. I help, businesses with their finances." And, they say, "Hey, I need one of those," kind of nonchalantly. But when you say, what would, you ask some key questions. If you had a bookkeeper, what would that allow you to do? What type of time would that free up for you? Or I ask key questions like, how long do you spend on your books? Or what does your financial reports tell you right now about your books versus, what I could tell you in the financial reports that I do for you, what I could tell you about your books. So, those are just some key questions. And it really hits when you're able to ask those questions in person because they can see you. They can feel you where you're coming from. And then you make them think. You start making them think about it. You start making them give you quality answers, not really about their books, but about what having me in their life would do for them. And they say, well, yeah, I just want to, not spend, 1 lady told me she spends, a few hours. She spends about 3 or 4 hours every Saturday on just trying to, do the books. And so I asked her, well, what type of, if you didn't spend that 3 to 4 hours every Saturday, then what would you be doing with your time? And she's like, oh, let me tell you, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. She starts to list off all the great things that she could do with her time. And so that's what being a bookkeeper really provides. But I had to go ahead and do another video and just let you guys know exactly where I got my information from. It was really good stuff. I just offered to stay in contact with those guys even after this event, and I continue to do some great collaborations with them as well. Just some business coaching type of things. I want a business coach. I want to grow my business and things like that. So anyway, have a great day. I don't want to keep you guys all day because I can start rambling very, very easily. But all right. Thank you. Thank you.